Hey, third graders, it's Mr. Funk. I'm going to try to get you started on your note taking today for your biography speech. So, I'm going to pick a person to give a speech on to kind of show you the steps, and then you can kind of follow my steps. Of course, your information will be different because your person is going to be different, but the steps should be very similar, and we'll go through it together here. I'm picking this guy, Nelson Mandela, who was the former president of South Africa and was a civil rights leader. And you'll learn more about him as I show you how to do your report. You'll learn a little bit about this man, Nelson Mandela. Okay, the next thing I need you to do is get some notebook. Doesn't matter really to me what kind it is, but I need it to have a lot of, that's not so great. I need it to have a lot of blank pages together. Okay, so find one that's got mostly blank pages or like just a section that's blank. So get your notebook and then we're going to label some pages for notes. Okay, here's a notebook. All I really mean is my first page I want you to write intro and then the word big idea. And then all I'm trying to show you is that for me the bunch of the, excuse me, I got a bunch of blank pages after that. That's all I need. It can be the front of the notebook, beginning, middle, as long as after the page you got a bunch of blank pages. You don't need that many. So find a notebook, first page, write intro, big idea. Okay, so next, intro, big idea, skip a page, skip a page. Okay. Got a few pages there for more notes. I don't know how many we're going to need, but we want to leave plenty of room. Next heading, next subject area. Let's go chronologically speaking. So this is the early life of your person, also their things in their childhood and their family, and then maybe events that shaped them for good or bad as a child. This is early on. So right after that, write these categories. So after big thing, intro, early life, childhood, family, events. So my intro, big idea, early life, there's my early life, childhood, family, events. Again, next topic, skip, there's nothing there, so I have lots of notes. Nothing there, nothing there. Skipped about 3 or 4 pages. Next headings, big thing, accomplishment, details, okay? That's what your person is best known for and the things they did when they were famous as an adult. The big accomplishments in their lives with details. We'll go over that in a little bit. Thing slash accomplishments details. What your person's, why they're famous, why. Skip a page, maybe skip another page, maybe another one, but I just skip 2. That stands for miscellaneous. You will be like a place to put stuff you don't know where else to put it. Might be interesting, you're not sure where it goes. You can put it on this page called Fun Facts Miscellaneous. Okay? Again, you skip pages between every heading. Okay, the pattern continues. So after Fun Facts Miscellaneous, I don't know if I'm going to need all this room, but skip a page. Maybe skip another one. Doesn't really matter. It's better to have too much room than not enough. And then your last part for today will be conclusion. That's kind of like your introduction upside down. We'll talk more about that tomorrow. So these are some places you can start. Let's go over it one more time. You got a notebook. You've got a bunch of empty pages you can use. The first heading is intro, big idea. You skip a few pages. Then your next thing, chronological order, your famous person was a kid. They grew up. What happened during their early life? What happened during their childhood? What was their family like? Where were they born? Did something happen in their childhood to shape their life? I don't know. Depends on your person. Early life, childhood, family. Next thing, need some room just in case I have tons of information. Another blank page. Next, the big thing slash accomplishment details. Again, this is where as your person became more and more famous and did more and more things, this is where you'll write down what those things were. This is the biggest probably part of your report right here, the most important details right here. Again, big thing slash other accomplishments details. Blank page, fun facts, miscellaneous. Okay, things you find out here that you're not sure where they go are just kind of an interesting fact, kind of a strange fact, or you don't know where to put it, anywhere else to put it, miscellaneous, so there it goes. Something that you find interesting about your person. Again, just in case I get lots of info, give yourself some room, and then the conclusion, and that's just going to be something you write down to end your speech and let us know you've come to a nice, neat end, conclusion. So I want your notebook to look just like mine before you do anything else. So make sure it does that. Pause the video at this point and get your notebook looking good, and then join me after that. Okay, we start with the big idea. The big idea is, why is your person famous? All over the world, people know your person. Why? What's the main thing? Sure, they did lots of interesting things. That's going to come into the details part of their accomplishments. But the first thing I want you to write about is the big thing they're famous for. Well, Nelson Mandela ended apartheid in South Africa, and then he became the first black president of South Africa. But there should be an H there, and now there is. So apartheid was like like segregation. So when we studied about Dr. King and Rosa Parks, you learned that segregation kept people apart, and you remember that, at least in my opinion, was a really bad situation. So apartheid was the same kind of thing as segregation for blacks in South Africa. It was probably even more difficult in some ways. So this guy, Nelson Mandela, he led the civil rights movement to end apartheid, to end segregation, and then he became the president. So in a way, he was like Dr. King and Barack Obama in one person. So if you think of it that way, that's a pretty big thing. That's a pretty big deal. But the big thing he was known for first was fighting against apartheid, and then ending it in South Africa. And then after he ended it, he became the first black president. Blacks couldn't even vote before he became president, and then he became the president. Pretty impressive. That's why he's a big deal, and that's the big idea. So the big idea, the writing here is just to show me you have a grasp of why the person is so famous. The big idea. Okay, work on that today. Okay, so remember a key thing here for me. When you're doing your research, you want to put in for kids. Your famous person for kids. I'm new Nelson Mandela. Look what happens. The Nelson Mandela thing, when I pour for kids, I get a whole bunch of kid-friendly kind of things. That's where I want you to be. Your kids, enjoy it. Make sure you use for kids. So that's for research. Also, for videos. You can learn a lot about your person in a video, and you can see what they look like and hear what they said and see what the times were like. But again, for kids, that's going to really help. Make sure all your research queries, all your searches have for kids in them, please. Okay? Thanks. And let's go back to all. So, sorry this isn't that clear. Anyway, I'm finding out lots of good information on a site for kids. This is National Geographic Kids. It even says kids. Don't copy stuff down and write it if you don't understand it. That's the name of this game. So use stuff for kids and write stuff down about your person's early. There's a picture of a young Nelson Mandela. You know, you can see that he's probably like in his teens, late teens here. But the youth of Nelson Mandela. So after writing your big idea down so that everybody knows, including you, then today I'd like you to start working on early. Okay, again, I'm not gonna. This is about my guy, not your person, but some of the things that I found to give you some idea what I'm looking for you. What are some significant things that happened when he was young? Well, he was born. Okay, he was born on the 18th of July, 1918, in a small village. His great granddad was a king of a Thembu people, a group of people I'd never heard of, a tribe of people living in Africa. But his great grandfather was a king. Now, to me, that's an interesting fact. That's an interesting part of his life. His father was a chief. Okay, Nelson's father. Nelson's father had 4 wives, so he had a big family. Nelson's father didn't. He had 4 different wives, but at the same time, he didn't like divorce them and remarry. He had 4 wives all at once. Nelson's mom was the third one, so he has a huge extended family. Okay, when he was a little boy, he worked out in the fields taking care of cattle. Okay, um, his name was not Nelson when he was born. It was this name that starts with an R. I'll try to pronounce it. Raleigh Halahala. I'm not sure that's right. I'm pretty sure it's not right. But he wasn't Nelson Mandela when he was born. He was that other name. And then when he was like 7 years old, his teacher started calling him Nelson, and it just kind of stuck. I don't know why he picked Nelson. Now, I'm flipping over and I'm going by more notes. And I even have room for more notes about his early life because I just started, and room for more notes. So remember, give yourself room. Okay, I already talked about his mom. His father died when Nelson was 9 years old. Okay, so that's a big deal. That would affect anybody. Then, when his dad died, Nelson got taken away to learn the ways of the tribe. So they took him from his mom. I mean, not like, kidnapped him or anything, but he was asked to leave home so he could go learn more about his people and how to be a leader. Okay? After that, he did not see his mom for many years. So that's a big deal. As a kid, he didn't live with his mom or dad when he was a kid. That's a big deal. He went to high school in 1933, and he went to a segregated high school because all the schools were segregated. The whole country was segregated before Nelson Mandela took over and made it a different country. Now, I'm not done with his early life. I got more things to write and more room to write, and that's what you need to do. So get started on your early life today of your person. Try to get your big thing, your big idea, write that down, and then start getting notes on your early life. Remember, everything you do, famous person for kids facts, famous kid person for kids videos, please use for kids. All right, good luck making some progress out there. Try to get your big thing and your early childhood / early life major events done for now. Thanks so much. We'll be checking in soon.